Just got done therapy and I'm starting to have to realize that I have to live my truth of I don't want to be with my husband anymore. I am constantly feeling like I'm being held down. And part of that is codependence, where his energy is impacting my energy. But like it does. Like, I know everyone's like, oh, have really strong boundaries. Like, other people shouldn't impact you. But like, I don't think that's reality. People impact other people. And I need to accept that I got with my husband out of potential. He had the potential to be a great earner. He had the potential to be a great father. And you know what? All of that is true. He is a great father. He is a great provider. He's not a great partner. And that's not really because of anyone's fault. It's just our personalities don't really jive. Like, I am chaotic and wild, and I love that about me. And for the longest time, he, anchored me because I couldn't regulate myself. But I can regulate myself because I am an adult now.
So this young lady just said that she's an adult. How many of you actually watching this think that her decision making is adult-like? And I'm not trying to be judgmental. I know we live in a world where a lot of people have different experiences, different upbringings, different values, systems based on the things that they think are right or things that they feel are right. Doesn't make it right, but a lot of people are making life-changing decisions because of everything I just said. And it's actually sad because my guess would be that this husband probably has no idea that his wife is even feeling this way, or maybe he does, because I know men have a tendency to be kind of clueless at times, especially when it comes to understanding their mate, and vice versa. But we'll get a little bit deeper into that in a little bit.
I'm an adult now. And he tries to let go of the anchor, right? But then when we live our own independent lives, I realize, like, I don't really want to intersect with you much. Like, what's funny is I think we already do what we need to do to be good parents, but he's not giving me the time of day. He refuses to sit down with me. Everything's my idea, right? He doesn't initiate anything. I would be fine.
Delayed gratification that's something that a lot of people don't understand, especially this generation of this young lady here in the video. They don't understand, especially if we just take it back to marriage. Marriage is hard. It takes work. But the benefits and the growth and the learning experiences that come from going through a marriage where you have two different people from two different backgrounds, two different upbringings, two different experiences, two different sets of baggage, and they're trying to make themselves one, according to the Bible, where it says the two shall become one flesh. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Marriage takes work, but we live in a world now, like you just heard her say, where she's growing much faster than him. And it's funny how you can hear her saying how he needs to change. It's all about him. Let me share something with you. You cannot change another person. You cannot change a human heart. The only changes that I've ever seen in my life when it comes to other people is when I got down on my knees and I prayed and I said, Lord, help this person see the areas that they can't see, or help me to change, to be able to accept this person for where they are, because all of us have been there, you know? I'll just give you a simple example. How many times have you heard couples that have been married for 20, 25 years, and they get to the point where one or the other one is ready to leave, and they're sitting in counseling, and the wife's complaining about how she's been telling the husband this one thing for 30 years, 25 years, and he's like, I thought we were good. I thought things were great. There is a disconnect there, but a lot of people won't take the time to get the help or to figure out what they need to do, as in this case. This young lady's thinking the grass is greener, and I'm telling you now, just from experience, the grass is not greener on the other side. Stay where you're at. Focus on your marriage. Focus on your children. And one part, you can actually hear children in the background calling mommy's name. And here she is sitting over here on TikTok complaining about their father. Do you see something wrong with that?
On my own, he just makes things a little easier with childcare and money and money. But is that enough? And I don't think it is. And so instead of being like, oh, do I want to be with him? Do I not? Oh, well, he's kind of good. Oh, this, maybe he'll change. He won't. And if he does change, it's not at the pace that I am changing. And I am changing so rapidly. I'm flying away. I'm flying away. And if he tries to tether me, it's going to snap. Like, I need to fly away. And I don't know if that means like absolutely living apart from each other, but I do know I need to adjust my expectations of if I want a clean house, I have to clean it.
What she doesn't realize is there's always going to be something that is going to get on your nerves or get under your skin, or something that you're expecting that person to do and they're not going to do it. I have that in my marriage right now. But you know what I've done is I have learned to not sweat the small stuff. I'll give you an example. I like my food lukewarm. My wife likes her food piping hot as soon as it's done. She will cook a meal and she will leave the mess on the counter, the stove. She will go and sit down and eat and then come back and clean it afterwards. But because I'm one of those type of people where I cannot stand mess, I have to clean it up. I have to wipe it up. Again, should I get mad at her because she wants to go sit down and eat her hot food and then come back later and clean it up? Or do I just clean it up because it's something that I enjoy? Those are the kind of give and takes in a marriage. And I pray that somebody educates this young lady before she does something stupid. And I'm not saying that, there aren't situations where you might have to look at separating yourselves. But again, I always try to come from a biblical perspective. The Bible says there's really only two circumstances where you should divorce, and that's because of adultery or because of abandonment. And again, she's not giving us those details. But I wish people would get to the point where they would fight harder for this union. And we just live in a country now where marriage is basically treated as a joke. And the sad thing about it is it's like everything else in life. People start something and they give up before they really give it a chance to get going or to get started. And they never know the blessing that was down the line had they just stuck it out.
If I want dishes put away, I have to do it. I can't keep expecting him to do these things because he's not, and historically has never, no matter how much I've nagged, how much I've threatened, how much I've screamed, it has not been done. So I have to do it. Doesn't mean I have to do it forever, but for right now, for the most peaceful transfer, I just have to start accepting that I want this dissolved in whatever fashion. The goal no longer is to be together in my mind.
So let me ask you, how many of you out there actually think she's already got somebody on the side? Somebody that's giving her the attention that she thinks she needs, that's treating her a little better than her husband. She also didn't say how long she's been in this marriage. How many of you think she's already got somebody on the side? My gut is telling me that she's already exploring that realm and is already there.
But that enough? I don't think it is. And so instead of being like...
But just in keeping it real and being honest, my advice to this young lady would be think before you step. And my advice to him, based on a lot of the comments that she's made, don't try to stop her. Don't try to hold her back. Let her know where you stand. Let her know how you feel. Let her know that you love her. Let her know that you want your family together. Be honest, but as painful as it is, because what a lot of people don't realize is when you get married, it says the two shall become one flesh. So you're one flesh. So imagine ripping yourself in two. So when you divorce and you separate, the reason it's painful is because it's not like you're cutting it perfectly down the middle when you're going back to where you were. You've become one. So when you separate, divorce, now you have ripped apart what God has brought together. Whether you believe that or not, it's still a fact and it's still true. You can not believe it all you want. And I'm telling you from experience. If I was this man, I would make it very clear where I stood, the desires of my heart, and I would leave it alone. If she wanted to leave, it would be very difficult for me to entertain taking.
Being like, oh, do I want to be with him? Do I not? Oh, well, he's kind of good. Oh, this, maybe he'll change. He won't. And if he does change, it's not at the pace that I am changing. And I am changing so rapidly. I'm flying away. I'm flying away. And if he tries to tether me, it's gonna snap. Like, I need to fly away. And I don't know if that means like absolutely living apart from each other, but I do know I need to adjust my expectations of, if I want a clean house, I have to clean it. If I want dishes put away, I have to do it. I can't keep expecting him to do these things because he's not, and historically has never, no matter how much I've nagged, how much I've threatened, how much I've screamed, it has not been done. So I have to do it. Doesn't mean I have to do it forever, but for right now, for the most peaceful transfer, I just have to start accepting that I want this dissolved in whatever fashion. The goal no longer is to be together, in my mind.
She's headed for a fall. She doesn't see it because right now everything over here looks real shiny and pretty. Everything over here looks real dirty and nasty. You know, my wife said to me one time very early in our marriage, and I'll share this with you and I'm gonna get off here. Think of your marriage like a garden. If you water your garden and you fertilize it and you pull the weeds and you tend to it, you nurture it, you spend time with it, what are you gonna have? You're gonna have a beautiful garden. But if you treat it like crap, ignore it, let the weeds grow up and choke out the plants, rarely ever water it, your garden's gonna be brown and dead. So just put marriage in that situation. And I don't know who is the main culprit in this situation. It could be a lot of what she's saying is true and she's just fed up, or it could be that she's very immature and expected this man to be her knight in shining armor, not realizing that all of us are jacked up and that marriage is a journey. It is not a once and you're done and everything's going to be happy-go-lucky. So I don't really know the details because she didn't share it. All I can say in closing is that I just pray that people, especially in this country, can start valuing marriage again the way the institution was held up at one time. It takes a lot of work. Men, as the men in our homes and the fathers, we need to step up and be better. We're made differently. Men, you are wired for respect. Women are wired for security, you know? And if a woman doesn't feel secure, if she doesn't feel loved, she will feel abandoned and she will possibly look elsewhere for it. And if a man doesn't feel respected, he will find a way to go and get that respect from somewhere else or somebody that's going to give him to him. That's just the way God designed us. The problem is he designed us that way by nature, and we get in marriages and we don't even take the time to really understand what it is we're married to. Anyway, make sure you hit that like button because it does help with the algorithm. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I really would appreciate that. I love you guys, and I will check you on the next one later.